Hello magical hands, welcome to the channel. If it's your first time here, hi, my name is Jessica, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for coming back. This is the part 2 of this video, which is going to be for the skirts, and the part 1 will be linked right in the description box. So let's get into this video proper. Fold your pattern paper into two. Now mark your waist to your hip line. I will mark 8 inches for mine. On that point, I will connect a straight line horizontally, and that line is where I'll be marking my round hip measurement. Next, find the full length of your skirt. I'll be marking from 18 inches downwards because 18 inches upwards is the blouse of the skirt. So I marked 40 inches for the full length of the skirt. It's advisable, if you want a more decent look, that you should make your skirt much longer. On the top part of the pattern paper, mark your round waist measurement divided by 4. Just mark your exact measurement. On the hip line, mark your round hip measurement divided by 4, and then make sure to add extra 1 inch for ease. It is very important that the hip side is very loose, but make sure that your waist measurement is accurate. And also, what you have on the hip line, mark that on the full length. Now, if you do not add this allowance, this 1 inch for ease, or let's say half an inch for ease, your skirt would be looking like this picture that you can see. And also, it will not look like this type of drape that we are trying to recreate. Connect all the lines together as seen. Fold your fabric into two so we can start cutting the back piece first. So I did not add any zip allowance, and I did not add any hem allowance. So while you are cutting this on your fabric, make sure to add all the necessary allowance also to the base of the skirt, as well as the zip allowance. Also make sure to split the zip allowance as well. Do not cut this on fold. Cut two separate pieces for the back piece. Keep the back piece aside, and then we'll move over to the front piece. Now you can open up the pattern paper. Remember, we folded it before. Also rule out the midpoint of the pattern paper and also indicate the left and the right side. So this will enable you decide which side you want your skirt slit to be on. I want mine to be on the right side area. So right on that line, I will mark 7 inches. That is going to be where all the pleats would be. I do not want to use my hip line, so I'll just mark 7 inches. The main point is to connect this to meet the end of that skirt. So you can use your free hand. I will use my curve. Just take your time to define your curve as much as you want. So now I'm going to star out the other line that I will not be using. I'm going to make use of the other one, which is more defined. For the overlapping, if you take it from that side downwards, you might have something that will look like this. But if you take from the midpoint downwards, you will have this more to the side. But if you take from the other side downwards, you will have your whole overlapping at the midpoint area. And also, the picture I am recreating does not look like that. So guys, I'm going to mark the overlapping of the skirt from the midpoint of the skirt. It's not going to start from the other end of the skirt. I hope you get the whole explanation. So right at the point where those two overlapping areas meet, that is the point where this skirt is going to be open. That is the area where it's going to be overlapped at, which is close to the side. So I'll just curve this down to the full length as seen. So you can see, guys, the point where the two of them meet is the area this is going to overlap. I'll take out your tracing paper. If you don't have one, you can use a gum stay like I am using. So you place your gum stay, and we are going to trace out that overlapping on it, on the gum stay, just the overlapping part. So now I'll be able to draft that on another paper. I can go ahead and cut the other side out. So this skirt is a very high slit skirt, and if you don't want this to look too opened, you just have to make the long one. So long as you are making a short one, it will be very open. Now we are going to start splashing this so we can spread them. We can cut and spread them. So I just marked 1.5 inch. I just marked this like in 3 places. I really didn't really care much about the measurements. So guys, I'm going to show you guys how you will cut this. Spread, slash this, cut it downwards, don't cut it straight. If you cut it straight, you are going to have this result right here on the screen, but if you cut it downwards, you'll be able to achieve what we got from the inspiration picture. So always spread, slash and spread downwards, don't slash and spread straight. And also, you don't really need a measurement to slash and spread, but if you want to work with accuracy, you can always use a measurement. So slash it downwards so that your drapings can fall downwards, so it is not straight as if you are trying to sew a straight skirt. Now we can start transferring the patterns to the main fabric. So while you're at it, make sure to keep in mind to add all the necessary allowance. If you remember, we did not add any seam allowance to the pattern paper. We did not add any hemming allowance. So also add the hem allowance while cutting this. For the second front piece that I spread, you can go ahead and spread this on a fresh pattern paper, or you can go ahead and tape this directly to your fabric, whichever one you think will be easy for you. So while I was cutting this, after I spread them to get the amount of volume that I wanted, I was okay with the way I spread them. I didn't really use any measurements. I went ahead to cut this, making sure to add the necessary allowance. So to pleat this properly, remember we marked 7 inches at that point, but right about now I'm going to make it 8 inches because of the hem allowance, and just pleat it to 8 inches and sew and be back. So I used hemming gum to hem the base of the front pieces because I did not have a matching thread and I actually wanted this job to look clean. And also I went ahead to iron this. Just make sure you iron this and iron it very well. So now we'll go ahead and start doing the pleating proper. So I have sewn this up together. I have attached the two front pieces together. So now I can go ahead and start attaching my back piece to this. I will place the back piece right face facing the right face. Now I'm going to sew up the hem allowances, the seam allowances that I put on the side, and be back. After I have joined the side seams, next I will be attaching the zipper area. So I'll just close up that back piece like this, and then I'll fix my zip upwards. So far this is what we have. Also from that point you are going to curve this to meet the back piece. Just take your time and curve this properly to meet the back piece, and then you also hem the back piece as well. Now we can go ahead and attach the top parts of this tutorial to the lower bodies. Also, this has a little bit of a back, so we are going to find the midpoint of the front piece. We'll notch the midpoint and likewise the midpoint of the blouse, so we can be able to trim the basque waistline as well as to sew it properly. So I have attached the upper bodies to the lower bodies. Guys, I think we have come to the end of this tutorial. Last thing for me to do will be fixing the zip at the back and also hemming the base. So